Good evening, one and all, and welcome to another edition of Cop Talk. Preds caught in the act once again, I tell you.
You caught me anyway.
Look at that, caught in the act once again. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Not healthy to be eating this time of night either, mate. You know what I mean?
Small portions, my doctor said.
Eating at decent times, yeah?
I know.
Good evening, Dr. Lee. How you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. I'm well. It's transfer window, post-carnival. Yeah, man, it's a good time to be alive, man.
Good. Preds?
Well, yeah, I'm all right now. Thanks. I'm all right now. Thank you very much. I'm a little bit. I'm very excited because of the signing that we've made, which has put me in a really, really good mood today.
Okay. And I can't believe that before the show even started, 4 minutes before the show even started, we're getting comments like, I'm seeing a beating coming on Sunday, and that we're getting gassed about playing two relegation-threatened teams. Well, I'd like Mr. B to come in and tell me who exactly it is who's getting gassed, because I ain't heard none of us get gassed. I've even heard us say, well, maybe that these players only play that because, it's only Ipswich and so forth. I've heard no one be gassed yet.
But
So
I've heard
Man United have made a couple signings now. What, you lot are title contenders, yeah?
Yeah, but to be fair, Lee, though, I've heard Man United supporters moan about the L they got last week. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, didn't they get L to Brighton?
Oh, is that what they were talking about?
Benny Welbeck come out to haunt them again.
Oh, is that what they were moaning about? They got their L.
Yes, that's what it was. I get it now. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold your L, bros. Yeah. Cave life for you lot. Damn, out there so bright. Good evening, CW. Nice to have you on board, sir. Thank you very much. The title should be No Steam from the Bees. Motaz is at it again. Salah will ghost against Man United on Sunday. Mark his words. Yeah, he's starving, mate. He's starving.
Yeah, CW. I've sorted out my lighting. I've sorted out my headphones and my microphone.
Yeah,
I've had a lot of months.
All
I'm ready to rock and roll.
He's in the game, mate. He's in the game. I tell you, he's in the game. So, Brentford done the business as well. To be honest, I actually thought it was easier than what I thought it would be. To be fair, do you think that Ivan Toney was a big miss for them then?
Well, look, listen, Ivan. Whatever's going on in Brentford's corner, then let them deal with it. I just think that we controlled the game, and I think that's where you might come across. That's where I'd agree with you in saying that maybe it was a little bit too. It looked easy, but I think we kind of made it easy in regards to we just instead of it's kind of that transition, isn't it? I think the players are also going through this transition, and supporters are also going through the transition of the style of play, and where we're expecting, NBA back and forth, who's actually in control of a lot of the game. So, yeah, I think it's just down to good performance from Liverpool.
Okay, Doctor, what did you think? You think it was easy, or we was that good, or what? What was it?
It's a hard one, right? Because I think Brentford, for some reason, in my mind, always gives us a bit of a tricky game.
Yeah.
Like across multiple seasons at Anfield or at their ground. And if you think about it, Brentford probably had the result of the opening round in winning against Palace away, right? So they've come in like with some good form. Okay, it's probably Everton against Brighton, but yeah, like Brentford showed up. So I think Brentford were in good form, and I guess we're making games look quite straightforward. And that's not to disparage against the opposition, but I just think when you are in control of the ball and you carry a threat, then that level of jeopardy in games just isn't there anymore. So, yeah, I just think we were particularly good, personally.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, definitely. Big shouts goes out, Roshi. Nice of you to join us. Yeah, the week's going well, I must say. The week is going well, even though I still feel like I'm on recovery road from this long weekend and all the birthday celebrations and that. Still at it, but yeah. CW says, I thought Brentford was more comfortable game and control performance, to be honest. Yep, I would definitely agree with that. So, performance of Luis Diaz, gentlemen. Talk to me about Luis Diaz.
Listen, man, I was super happy for him because I think there's one player who I just want to see him do well. And I was particularly frustrated with Diaz at points especially at the start of last season. And I know, obviously, his dad being kidnapped and him returning from the knee injury. But I guess, for me with Diaz, I never expect him to be clinical, but I always expect you to be able to beat your man and to dribble. And if I like last season, the only fullback that I saw him actually terrorize was bloody Ashley Young, who's like in his early 40s or something. Whereas start of this season, even back in the last season, it just feels like Diaz has just got that bit more confidence in his game, that bit kind of in between his teeth. And I just think, he's just creating a lot of carnage and he's showing end product, man. So if he can sustain that little bit of end product throughout the season, then what a player. What a player. Gives you everything. Work rate, intensity, hold up play, covers his fullback. He's going to fight. And if he can just add a bit of gold dust in terms of just the end product and that, and I think in many ways, I was probably most impressive his assist for Mo. Yeah. So I was just like, yes, Diaz, just show a bit of class, innit? It just had a bit of class to it. And I was just like, yeah, Diaz, yeah, it's good, man. Show these people that we don't need Anthony bloody Gordon, man. I'm going to spend flipping £90 million on Anthony Gordon. We've got Diaz who can do that. It makes no sense.
Thank you very much. Preds, what do you reckon? What do you make of Diaz?
I think he's hit the ground running. I think he's got clear instructions from the manager. I think he's got he's also got the backing of the manager as well. And even for his goal, the Brentford defender wasn't someone who was slow. He's one of the quickest players, and he couldn't catch Diaz even with the ball at his feet. And his finish was sublime as well. So I agree with Doctor. I think
on his left peg as well.
On his left peg as well, yes. I think his game is slowly but surely. Well, it's gradually coming on, and I think what he's got to now add on is the goals.
Yeah, most definitely. I would definitely agree with that.
Question on Diaz. I think it's clearly a few things that's coming. Like obviously he's hit the ground running, new manager, etc. But I'm wondering if there's, and I don't want to be on Nunes in that regard, but I wonder if as a collective he finds it easier to play with Jota and Mo because there's a bit of predictability about what they're gonna do. If I make the run, I'm gonna get it. If I make it's almost like it feels like he's finding it easier to play with Jota in particular as opposed to Nunes, who you just don't know really what he's gonna do in it.
I think I'd agree with that 100%. And it's not even what he's going to do. Is that Nunes doesn't keep the ball or doesn't retain the ball a lot, which can be very frustrating. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and it feels like him and Mo have got a nice little relationship as well now. Like they're kind of finding each other in the little runs and yeah, nice. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what was. Was it this? Yeah, it was this week. Was it this week? Yeah, it was this week. Against Brentford when Mo started on the right hand side and he's cut in and then he's played a 1-2. He's played 3 1-2s before actually just about getting on the end of it. And I think you're right with regards to Jota can float. He can be a number 9, a false 9, go over to the left. They're all kind of rotating. And they seem to be on the same wavelength at the moment, which bodes well going forward.
Most definitely. Good evening, brother Stoney.
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing, man? How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Good. So we were just talking about Diaz's performance. What did you make of Diaz's performance?
I have a feeling that he wants to stay. He no longer wishes to go to Barcelona with his dad. Do you know something? I think he owed us that. I think he owed us that performance. I know he had a good Copa America. I hope that performance against Brentford is going to be what we're going to expect from him for the rest of this season. He played with purpose. He was dynamic. I think he's one of the players that never ever shies away from the ball. But what we need from Diaz is end product. And I think if it's not going to be goals, then for me, we're going to need at least some form of outcome. I think I have to be quite careful because I know I've mentioned it on previous shows that current football appears to be all about data. And there's a lot more that players can actually do in terms of not scoring or causing or creating assists, but still have an impact on the performance. And I suppose that's what Diaz has always done for us. He's kind of flattered to deceive. But he had a really nice game against Brentford, and I just hope that that's just a marker for him because I do actually like Luis Diaz playing for us.
Definitely, most definitely. Gonna say big evening shouts goes out to Demas. Nice one, Demas, mate. I know you've got high hopes this season. Brought in a few players. I know things are looking big for you. Can you make it third time lucky, Demas? Let me know, man. Do you reckon it's gonna happen this season? CW says Diaz last season went through a lot in his head. He's in the game, it looks like, this season. And he also reckons that front three of Diaz, Jota, and Mo is definitely our strongest front three. Yeah, I'd have to say that. Better late than never, Stoney. We've got our hopes up, and then he appears. Yeah. Who wants to go to Barcelona and their sorry state? They couldn't register a mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, they got financial problems still in it.
Demas, the same thing if we can get a striker. You've been saying that for about 10 years, man. What is it with you guys? I don't understand what it is with you guys. You keep saying this.
My thing is this, innit? How much money does Arteta need, bro, for that? I've never seen this for my life. The manager who spent so much money and it's still like, he just needs one more. He just needs one more. You chose to spend £70 million, 300 grand a week on Kai Havertz last season. You chose to do that. No one else. You chose to do Declan Rice 105 million, and it was bargain of the season. Like, we actually robbed West Ham. You spent £100 million on Declan Rice, but yet you robbed West Ham. So basically saying that he's worth 150. Yeah, like you man chose this, innit? Like so, like live and die by your transfer decisions. All this, yeah. Like if we get one more, your manager now needs to step up. Simple as.
100%. Right, gentlemen. Another player I want to talk about. There's been a lot of talk about this player as well. Andy Robertson. How was his game?
I thought it was better than Ipswich, which was certainly encouraging because I think in that first half against Ipswich he was, it was worrying. I'm still on the defence and I've still got a bit of reservations with Robertson because I personally felt what he looked particularly good at were classical Andy Robertson things. So being dynamic, getting to the byline, overlapping runs, and obviously like he's always been strong defensively 1v1. But I think what we're really going to need to see him do this season is when we're trying to build from the back, take the ball in tight spaces and find good incisive passes, and so we can build through the pitch. And I think there's still question marks as to where he is with that style of play. No doubt, if it's been dynamic and charging forward, and like Robbo, if he's rested and you know what I mean, and he's on form, like we know he can do that. But I think it's the other stuff that I still think there's question marks.
Okay, Prince.
I think Robbo can do those stuff. Robbo's been doing it for years. I mean, we've got to also think about the fact that Robbo's now nearing 30 years old, and he's going to have to adapt his game in some way because he's not going to be able to do those dynamic runs. However, our style of play doesn't necessarily require him to do as many dynamic runs. as we're used to seeing him, and it was quite interesting, even defensively. You know, I don't know if you've seen the bit of a defensive change as to Van Dijk goes to delay the fella, and then Robinson actually runs round to make up a centre as an extra centre half. Going forward, he normally is the one who plays it inside for Gravenberch, for Szoboszlai to do their and McAllister to do their interaction play. He's already on the way. He doesn't actually need to get involved in that because the ball will find him in these spaces. So I think he can actually do these things. It's just a different style of play that we're now starting to see.
Stoney?
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with Preds on that one as well. We can already see that there's an adjustment in style and a tactical approach that Slot's got Liverpool, well, us currently playing. And it may well mean that Andy Robertson doesn't have to cover as much yardage. And also we have to bear in mind as well, I think you mentioned on last week's show, he's still coming back from injury as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does make the adjustment. Either way, the transfer window is going to close, so we're going to be stuck with him. So he's going to have to adjust. It's either that, we're going to have to go and play with 3 at the back. But I think he's got enough knowledge, not just on the domestic side, but internationally as well. So I'm confident he'll make the adjustment. If not, then we've always got Tsimikas there.
The Greek starter. Robbo just needs a couple more games for fitness, and then he will adjust.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got to remember. Robbo was actually in the box. I mean, he had a good chance on Saturday, where Diego Jota tried to attempt the overhead kick, and he actually found himself at the far stick. The actual fact, and then he went for another shot on. So he's actually got some advances into the actual opponent's boxes. I just think his passing is just a case of a new team philosophy that we've got, where the ball's going to go in to then go back out again, rather than just staying on the outside and then we're delivering. So I think he's going to get better and better. I think, hopefully.
Yeah. See, Robbo, yeah. You know what? I think it is. I'd rather give him a few more games. Let's see him get back to full fitness, and then let's have a look at him and see how he's doing. To be fair, but yeah, I think he's gonna have to learn about playing more football rather than sprinting. Be that bit wiser, and I think that being said is what's going to make us a bit more solid at the back as well. There won't be them gaps, and I know it's only Ipswich and Brentford before anybody says we're gassing, but 2 clean sheets under a new manager is always a good start for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we've looked a little bit more, we've got so much more secure, more in control of the ball. We're tiring teams out. We're putting teams in position, making them defend in positions that they feel uncomfortable playing in. And when we actually, our passing is so much more crisper and so much more cleaner. And you can see the patterns. You can, and even from the untrained eye, you can see the patterns that we're creating all over the pitch. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think slowly but surely, I've got no qualms with Robinson whatsoever.
Artie, sorry. How much do you reckon? You mentioned that we've had the 2 clean sheets and Robbo not having to push up. How much do you think those clean sheets are down to us having the 2 defensive midfielders playing closer to our defenders as well? Do you think that's got anything to do with it? I think,
one, that plays a part of it. Number 2, though, I also say that the 2 teams that we've played haven't been clinical. Especially Ipswich, because Ipswich, it was our first game, whatever, and Ipswich did have some chances. So that, I think it's a combination of both, to be fair. But I think, obviously, because it's transition for us, we're learning, I think it will get better and better, and teams will get less and less chances against us. Especially with the football that we're playing. I think they're also, it's going to come back to that stage where the teams are like frightened and they want to sit back against you. because half the game's already won.
Mm.
When they see your name on the team sheet, it's like, oh, bloody hell. Where they're instead of playing their own game, they're worrying about us. I can see that's how it's going to progress to.
But if you actually see during the game as well, both our fullbacks both bombed on and took positions in regards to the advanced midfield positions, because you got your two holding players sitting there. Well, you remember you saw Trent going inside and getting the ball and playing the ball inside. The same with Robbo, making advanced runs forward and going inside. They can do that because they have their affordability. They have the comfort of knowing that they've got two sixes sitting there, and if it does break down, then one of the two sixes can then advance and cover whatever fullback area we need to.
And none of them are a 6.
None of them are 6 at the moment. Yeah, well,
none of them are a 6. That's the funny thing. But yeah, I'm liking it. I am liking the football. That's one thing I've seen, and that's the kind of football that I've been crying out for a while.
Yeah, and I think not to disparage Klopp, because we know how great Klopp was, but there were a few moments last season when I was watching us play and I thought to myself, like, you might see Endo get caught on the ball, or even Matt Henry get caught on the ball and we're getting counter-attacked, and I think there was a game against Bournemouth last season at Anfield, and they had like 3 chances in the first 10 minutes. And
yes,
and I remember thinking to myself, to what extent is this the players, or is this the coaching? And by the coaching, I mean, is the plan just not good enough in terms of for this style of football? And I just think what is very different this year is it feels like there's a clear idea of how we're going to build through the pitch, but build through the pitch in a way that doesn't expose us. And if we do lose the ball, there's enough players close to the ball to be able to hunt it down. It just feels like the desperation's gone. Like, it just feels like Slot has got a clear idea, which is advanced, like almost like I'm one of the best in the world at coaching this. And I think therefore you're seeing how just tactically we've been spot on, because yes, it's only Ipswich and Brentford, but to my knowledge, Alisson still hasn't had to make any big saves yet.
Well, he made a big save against Brentford at the corner.
Yeah,
set piece though, but I mean in terms of just like open play, like us getting like cut through because defenders over here and the wingers over here.
I get what you mean.
Like the ones on ones
made a save from open play.
Yeah, like it just feels like our game plan isn't relying on Alisson just doing heroics. So it just feels like whatever Slot's doing, there is a structure to it, and the players are benefiting from it. And if you lose the ball, and Trent said this the other day, like everyone defends in it.
Yeah.
Like, if we're on the counter, like, I want to see everyone sprinting back. Everybody.
Yeah. His actual quote was, he said that everybody has to defend, and if you don't like it, you don't play.
There you go.
Simple as.
There you go. Just
good evening, Big Teach. Nice to have you on board, sir. So CW says we want Tsimikas to be the Greek Scouse of this season, not the Greek Moreno, sorry. Look, we look better defensively than last season, not going behind like last season every time, which is very true. And also don't tend to have a high line like under Klopp as much, which proper got under my skin under Klopp.
I think though, like I think this is something that I've been I've said it many times over the years. I love the way Klopp wanted to play his teams, and when we had the Fab Three, we were fearsome, we were fearless, and we knew that going forward we're going to score goals. It was just for me, it was just a case of we didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it looks like we've got a plan A, we've got a plan B, we've got a plan C. I don't think we've used plan B yet. I think plan A, the A plan at the moment has worked sufficiently. But I also believe that Slot has got plan C, plan B. Plan B, plan C. We've got a difference in regards to how we're going to approach games.
You need to have that. If you're going to be elite, you have to. You have to have options, man. You have to be able to
Yeah.
make changes.
Yeah, and that's absolutely, and like
Teams
with
are going to
Klopp,
figure you out, especially. All right, so we're playing the way we are now. Say 10 games in, and we're winning all these games. We draw one game. There's no way that teams are going to come up and say, "All right, then keep going like that." They're going to try and find a way to tweak against us. So we need to do the same.
absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
simple.
Yeah, it feels like Slot is.
BW, nice to have you on board, sir.
Yeah, this feels like Slot is tactically like he seems to be a serious operator, serious operator. And I guess in many ways, it's weird, right? Because although obviously Slot has replaced Klopp, in many ways he's replaced Pep Linders from the perspective of he's doing the coaching on the training pitch. It's Slot doing it. You watch our training clips and that. It's Slot who's doing the drills. Slot who's doing the tactics. It's Slot's vision, isn't it? So as I feel in the last couple of years, it felt that Klopp and Pep Linders were almost caught in between this hybrid of this full gegenpressing, but yet this more fluid possession plays football. And I don't ever feel we nailed down either strong enough. Whereas I just think, if I want to go back to the past, but I just think, if Klopp had maintained his original style, I think a lot of the issues that we've had in the last 18 months, I don't think they manifest in the same way.
But I think, to be fair, I think the way Klopp played his football, it worked to a degree when he had the personnel.
This is it, yeah.
When we went through a transition, obviously we're gonna have to kind of adapt and make some adjustments in regards to that. And like I said, it was quite easy. I wouldn't say easy. He was quite blessed in regards. He had Firmino, Mane, and Salah, and that front three there just absolutely battered teams, and teams were in fear even before they got on the pitch. You know, look, I'm going to make a conscious effort, and I'm going to say it now. I'm going to stop the comparisons between Slot and Klopp. I don't know how well I'm going to do that.
I'll make money that you won't, mate.
Well, I can only try. Yeah, it is early days, but you know what? I think we rant and raved about the way Klopp played, and it brought us a degree of success. And I think did you see how quiet the Anfield was, though?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear how
a bit like Stoney tonight, actually? I'm just watching Stoney, and I just listening to the man, and we're not saying nothing. Especially when you're talking about Slot and Klopp. I'm watching.
I'm just here to listen, and I'll jump in when I'm ready, man.
Still holding a little light for Klopp.
In it, boy. He's to be fair, he's still a bit tearful after Carvalho leaving.
Oh, that's right.
It's like a double whammy.
Shout goes out to Des B, and he says, backs up what the doctor was saying. He says, under the new hierarchy, Slot is a head coach, not a manager. Okay. Big shouts goes out to the Marvelous One. Thanks for joining us. Yep, Copology gang, you know how we do, bro. Also, London Vets Ballers. Hey, you're too bright. Okay. Exactly. Klopp was a manager. Slot always been a coach. By the way, not comparing both. Here we go. That's what I said. Stoney talks the most sense when he's quiet. Yeah. BW, you need your own show, bro. You need your own show. I'm telling you, you need your own stand-up. I'm telling you, this guy just kills me.
It's crazy.
He's watched the the videos.
I'm telling you, he kills me. So anyway, so are we right to be, I wouldn't say gassed, happy as it's only Ipswich and Brentford, or are we going to use that old adage where they say you can only beat what's in front of you?
I think it's a combination of. I think in the past we've spoken about, and we've probably had, if we think about historically, We probably always haven't had the best performances against the teams that have come up from the championship, right? So sometimes we've had mixed results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we haven't had that. I think didn't we have an early kickoff against Ipswich?
12:30.
Yeah.
Again.
There's been talk historically that when we have early kickoffs, we haven't had the results we needed to. Tick, that's out of the way. So I mean, look, it's a transition. I know all of us are remaining rational, but let's just enjoy ourselves. You know, none of us are getting carried away. But performances are there. And as you said, Artie, we can only play what's out in front of us. And at the moment, we've played 2 games and we've been victorious in both. So, and also the other side of it as well is why I still believe that Slot still needs to have some praise. We've had a lot of our players away involved in the Euros. We'd had a lot of our players away during the Copa America. He wouldn't have had as much pre-seasons as he would have liked, or collectively the squad. Yet he's been able to implement what he's needed to. So it's been a good start. So we just have to watch this space.
Yo, we got another comedian on the show, you know, trust me. Man said, is it Stoney or Eddie Nesta?
Yeah, well, I actually, you know, the interesting thing is, I know which person from London Vets Ballers is making trouble here. I actually know who that is, but I'm going to give them the pass. So it's all right. I'll take that.
They ain't seen you when when you're on your cucumber juice, have they?
I'm telling
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Gunshots.
That's right, Desby. I like that. Let's see where we are at after 10 games. See how we perform against other top teams. Exactly.
But you know, it's interesting, Debs. If Debs is able to, and I think we mentioned it on the first show that we actually had here as well. Our 10 games, we still have to play who's in front of us, right? But so who we got? We got United. We got Forest. I think we got a couple Champions League games in between that now, haven't we? After the draw. So look, as you say, we just have to play who's there. It is what it is. Because guess what? If we were to play, if our fixtures were whoever the top 10 teams, whoever they may well be, all right? So if we started the season and we played against all of those top 10 teams and we got 3 points against all of those top 10 teams, people will be out there saying, right, Liverpool's winning the league because we've dismantled all of them. So say, for instance, we dispatch Man City, we dispatch Arsenal, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Chelsea, whoever those top teams, everybody will be saying, right, you've done them now, you're winning the league because you're going to be playing against all of the rubbish teams. So we can't win.
Yeah.
We can't win.
Yeah. It's a point still. It's a point. Yeah. But when you say when you say top teams, don't include Tottenham, please. Yeah.
No, you know, I'm just giving. You didn't hear me say as an example.
Okay. Okay.
And I think, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, better teams are gonna pose us different types of questions. Maybe like we'll come on to some of the players, and you know, I mean, like against better teams, some of the players are gonna, I guess, have question marks or different types of questions thrown at them. But other players that we know are certified against anyone. We know Jota is slotting goals against anyone. We know Salah is one of the best wingers the Premier League's ever seen. We know Diaz can absolutely destroy anyone with the way he plays the game. Like, look at the twisted blood he gave to Kyle Walker, who can't be beaten, and Bernardo Silva, who can't be beaten last season. We know Van Dijk's one of the greatest Premier League. Well, I say Premier League, like he's one of the greatest defenders ever. We know Trent's probably like the best passer of the ball we've seen from fullback. So this whole idea of against better teams, like these men are certified against anybody, innit? So I just think like the facts, the facts are there, innit? Like we saying, like Mo's not gonna, like Mo can't do it against, I don't know, Arsenal and Man City. Like, well, it's just like we just know that.
Yeah, it's that old adjective, isn't it?
Yeah, shout out to Fitzwarren. Nice of you to join us. Go on, Prince.
No, I was just saying, it's that old adjective, isn't it? It's that old cliche of we just take one game at a time.
Yeah,
That's all we can do. Like, you got Mr. B coming on saying about, talking about we played Ipswich and blah blah. Like, end of the day, there's a fixture, there's a team you have to play against, and you have to do your best against the team you play against. It's just
Well,
worked out that we played Ipswich and Brentford, which are two very hard games in their individual way. And we all know that Brentford, at some point during the season, they're gonna cause an upset somewhere along the line. They're very hard to play against. So it's like, right, you know what? We've got next game. We've done the 2 games. We'll look forward to the next game, and we'll just take one game at a time. And I'm sure that's a message that Slot's also given as well.
I hope that Mr. B is available next week. Seriously, we give them boys some lashes. Trust me. I hope he's available.
Don't worry. Listen, I'll be watching the game with him on Sunday, so I'm going to be taking all of the photos. I'll be capturing memes.
Get the
and
clips,
I'll be sharing
everything.
them. Yeah, I'll be sharing them.
Yeah.
Good.
Stoney, you went here from the start. And Mr. B was it was like he had it on preset.
Bro, he was messaging us at 4 minutes to 10. The comments were coming through. We hadn't even gone live yet. And he was commenting already.
It's ready.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's all right, man. You see those things in that. That's what those things come back to haunt you. So it's all right, man. It's all right. They'll come back to haunt you. Big shouts goes out to Redbird. Nice one. Big up yourself. Okay. I like that we are not being talked about as champions. It's between Arsenal and Man City, apparently. Yeah, that's good. For real. Let them keep it that way. That's good. We'll just keep doing what we do in the background and getting our points, and then we'll see. We'll see where we're at, man. We'll see where we're at. Okay. So, gentlemen, 6 points in the bag, 2 clean sheets. Lovely. We was going crazy, pulling our hair out. We want signings. We finally got one. Tell me, is it another great bit of business by our staff? Mr. Freddie Chiesa, is it another great bit of business? 10 million, 2.5 in add-ons. 24 years old.
I think it's an absolute steal of the century. Like, we're talking about Federico Chiesa, who I think, if you know about football, if you followed football in all kind of leagues, he's done really well in an Italian league, which everyone knows notoriously is very hard, difficult to score goals in that particular league. And he's got a track record of scoring goals in that league. And also he's been in a successful side as well. And you've got to remember, before he done his ACL, people were talking about him being in the price bracket of like 90 to 100 million.
Yep.
To get this guy at the age he's at for 10 million quid with 2.5 million on add-on in appearance and add-ons. Well done, Mr. Edwards. That's all I can say.
I know Doctor likes this one.
Yeah, listen, I'm all about wingers who just create chaos in it. Like, you're gonna get the ball and you're just gonna create chaos. You're gonna I just think Chiesa for us, I think it's perfect, absolutely perfect. I think if we had paid £40 million for him, I would have thought it was a good deal. So the fact that we've got it for that cheap is just ridiculous. And I just think we finally got somebody who is more than just doing a job on the right hand side. Like, is very good on the right hand side. I just think someone like Chiesa, he can play anywhere across the front line, and it's probably the first time for a while that it feels like we've signed a wide player in that kind of Mo and Mane bracket, who we know are going to make those penetrating runs. Because as much as we like Diaz, and Diaz is good, but he's not somebody who you always know is going to be ready just to spring in behind and make those kind of off the ball runs and just dart towards goal. Whereas I just think Chiesa's movement is probably going to be very similar to what Salah's would have been a couple of years ago when he still had his legs and he was still sprinting. Well, to be fair, most are making like those runs now. So I just think, it's a brilliant piece of business, and it just strengthens us. And think it just means that everyone that has to stay sharp, and we've seen with Slot, if you dip, you're coming off.
Yeah.
Like what you did last season, last week, 2 months ago, last year, don't matter. It's what you're doing on the pitch right now. And if you're not delivering, you're not making those runs, or you're not holding on onto the ball, you're slacking.
Bench.
That's
Okay,
it.
Before I go to Stoney on this, quickly, Redbird says, fantastic business. Big up to Hughes for a job done. Okay, Stoney.
Well, I mean, when we're speaking about good business financially, we probably have to look at it like this. Sepp van der Berg, how much did we get for him? Was it probably about 20?
25,
add-ons? So if you're thinking we had Sepp van der Berg, who is never, ever going to play for our first team, and then you get a player of this quality, and remember, we're looking at an international here, and as you said, he can play the left forward. I hope he's probably going to be playing more of the right forward position. We mentioned on last season,
World Cup winner, isn't he?
Yeah. So we're probably looking
Euros.
Euros, yeah.
Yeah. We spoke last week about the drop-off if Salah wasn't going to play, and then who would be playing here. So we spoke about Ben Doik, and we spoke about Harvey Elliott. So now we've got a player who's going to come in. And I think probably what's going to work in our favour is there's no rush for him to actually hit the floor running. I think he's got enough time to actually come in and actually settle into the Premiership. Settle into the style of play that we're going to want as well. And then he'll play and bear fruit for us. I know my only reservation is I know that his injury was it about 2 seasons ago, that real big injury that he had?
Yeah.
Sure. But he's just had a lot of like knee issues afterwards. He's had a lot of muscular issues afterwards as well. So in my heart, I hope we're not, and I'm going to say it, we're out here. I just hope we're not buying another Naby Keita, who we're going to have an issue with muscular issues. I don't know whether we've got any new, when we've had a lot of new staff coming, right? I don't know if we've had any new medical staff come in. I'm not too sure.
I think they did, man. Yeah, I think that was a key part of what I'm assuming was Edwards who had been leading that, right? Until he started. But I think they've I think it's a new club doctor and new physios. And then obviously I think what they said was that was a key reason, so not a key reason, but it was one of the reasons why they hired Slot, right? Because of his fitness record. So I think things are going to feel a little bit different. But I think his injury record is better than what people think. It's like, in it.
He's had. The thing is, for me, he's had a lot of, and anything happened. Yeah, muscle fatigue. He's had a lot of knee injuries, muscular problems as well. But as you said, I think it's probably the nature. It could be down to the physios at Juve. We never know, or it could be down to the physios at when he's out during the international. So,
I'm just reading up on his stats. He's played 33 games for Juve last year.
Okay, cool.
And I mean, he's AC, and this is one thing. It's the media, and they're always going to go and pick on something which is a bit of a headliner. He had his ACL 2 years ago.
That's what I was mentioning.
Yeah. He had it 2 years ago, and it's always a degree of time before a player can try and recapture any sort of form that they previously had. Like ACL is a big injury. Yeah. Having said that, he played 33 games last season for Juve in league and Champions, and he played some in the Champions League as well. So and he's scored 9-10 goals. So I think he played as a second striker for Juve as well. So I don't think his injury is I think Juve are probably using that as a reason, one of the reasons why they want to get him out. Really and truly, they wanted to get him out because he didn't fit the manager's style, and they wanted to get rid of a high earner.
But I think he's final year of his contract.
Yeah,
he's in the final year in his contract, and I think Juve have kind of put a spin on that to kind of mention his injury. But I don't think he's as injury prone as they like to make it out.
yeah, and you're right, Preds. I think even though like I was mentioning that would just be my reservation. Hope we haven't got another Naby. And you're right. Even though he's had a lot of muscle injuries, they haven't kept him out of playing for more than 2 games anyway over that period of time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
according to Fitzgerald, don't think we'll have as many injuries with the style of play opposed to a Klopp style.
Yeah. That. Yeah, it's
Harry says, Liverpool fans, we want signings, defender, midfielder. Richard Hughes signs a goalkeeper and a winger. It's like asking for an omelette but getting scrambled eggs instead.
No, I'm actually really happy with the 2 signings that we actually made. I think it was important. The goalie, I think, was important. This is me, right? So I think if we're looking at the profile of Gallagher at the moment, he's probably going to move on. He clearly wants first team football, right? So whether he's going to ask to go out on loan or look for a transfer come maybe January at the end of the season, and then we still really don't know what's going to happen with Alisson. It may well be that Alisson moves on at the end of the season, and then we've already got a replacement with our new goalkeeper when he comes back from Valencia. So I think that purchase was a very smart purchase, and the value was in line with what we want. And as I said with Kaiser, we mentioned it from before as well. We did need, we've probably got about 8 forwards now, but we did need an understudy for Salah. And if Salah moves on, if we're not able to give him the contract that he probably wants, he moves on, at least we've already got somebody there. So I think they were both 2 very smart signings, personally.
Yeah.
Well, there's B goes and say good planning, cover for Salah, possibly to take over from Salah when he leaves.
Smart, and he's 26. Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be brutal. If transfer window ended on that, it's a failure. We not got the positions we needed. I don't believe we needed a goalkeeper. Fair enough, next season, and we already covered up front.
But guess what? And I'm just going to interject on this then, Chris. All right. So even though Alisson said that he's going to stay, that he didn't wish to go to Saudi, suppose that actually he did actually move. I believe that Liverpool were actually.
Alisson?
Yeah, because
no, he's not going. No, he said he's not going.
No, that's what I mean. He's not going, but I believe that Liverpool had to do something in terms of looking at a goalkeeper, because suppose Alisson said that he was going to leave this season, then I reckon that deal with the goalkeeper, it would have been that we purchased him and he wouldn't have then go back out on loan to Valencia. So I think that's very, very, very good business. Bearing in mind as well, we have to remember, even though Adrian wasn't playing for us, Adrian was like our 3rd goalkeeper. I know he's like a goalkeeper coach as well. So we did need another goalkeeper.
Oh, definitely.
Because our academy goalkeeper, I think it was the Polish guy, he's actually already gone out on loan as well. So we do not want to leave ourselves short. We don't. At no stage do you want to leave ourselves short. It's good business. And for the value as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's fantastic business to get someone of that caliber for the amount of money that we can get, and plus he's going to have another year to play at Valencia as well. How old's Alisson? 31?
Yeah, probably about that. And this new goalkeeper, what is he, like 23? He's younger than Gallagher.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I think they've played that really well. I think the Chiesa situation. I think you said it last week. You know, if Salah weren't playing, then you've either got Ben Doik or Harvey Elliott, which, you know, it's kind of putting, you know, a plaster over a cut. It's not actually dealing with the cut. Whereas now we've got, if you think about it, on the right hand side we've got Salah and Chiesa. On the left you've got Gakpo and Diaz, and through the middle you've got Diego Jota and you've got Darwin Núñez. So you've got 2 quality players for those 3 positions. And I think where we're, you know, what we're going for in regards to the league, the Champions League, the FA Cup, you're going to need those rotations. You're going to need those sort of players. And Chiesa, I should imagine, is not a player who's got potential. He's a player who potentially can hit the ground running and make an effect, and actually, and join in with the rotations that we're already doing at the moment. So I think it's a great bit of business. I know that people are quite disappointed with the midfielder, but I've got to be honest, touch wood, I hope Gravenberch can adjust more with more time, with more game time and more training. He can be that number 6 at the moment that Slot's looking for. McAllister can play in that position. Szoboszlai can play in those positions, because he's not looking for a stopper. He's looking for kind of a playmaker, someone who can start generating attacks from a deep, also getting the ball, rotating it, using that space. And that's why I think Endo is struggling at the moment, because Endo is just a stopper. So
very true. Okay, so Chiesa is paid for by the Solanke sell-on clause money. Very true.
There you go.
Very true. Redbird says, I'm sick of our negative, toxic fans. They seem to think a player is only good enough if he costs the earth.
Exactly. It's true. He's right. It's true.
But CW goes on to say, we are light in midfield for me, which I tend to agree. And the thing is that we have all been singing this for quite some time now, that we do need that specialist player in there. I
just believe that we have to trust the judgment on our technical team and our scouts, that we're ready for the right profile. Maybe, just maybe, if Zubimendi had any form of reservations coming to Liverpool, then he wasn't the right person. It's either you're coming or you're not coming. If you got any reservations, then you know what? Stay be. Just don't come anywhere near us.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not worried about that. But then you know what? You, like we were talking about with your tactics, you must have a plan A, B, and C. So there must be somebody else you could be looking at. And hold on, why do you say that? Before anybody says anything, lads? Big Teach is just letting me know that. So I'm seeing Alan Varela talk. He's saying it's all over the net.
That's the one, to be fair. I think, look, it's tricky, right? Because I think Chris is correct in what he says. You know what it is? It's like one of these kind of debates, right? Where sometimes there's no, there's a little bit of truth in everything. Top goalkeepers are a rarity. So the fact that we've, in theory, found Alisson's successor, he probably won't be as good as Alisson all round, but somebody who should be of a world-class standard. I think that's an excellent piece of business. To get Chiesa for that price, I know we've obviously been scouting him for years, is amazing business. The money that we have sold the players for so far this season is bloody impressive. I think all of that is true. However, we needed someone to start for the number 6 role. And we needed a defender, in my opinion, to upgrade on Tsimikas and ideally start from the left. So I just think I can understand why fans are frustrated. And let's be honest, if the technical team felt that we didn't need a number 6, then we don't try to sign Zubimendi for like £50 million, right? So I think there is a recognition that we need one. I guess we just need to just hope that either one, if we don't get one, then hopefully Gravenberch can, I guess, just become that player. And I guess why I won't be too critical of the recruitment staff, as I've said since, for the last couple of weeks, is I just think we have to just give them time. And they've come into a unique situation, and future transfer windows will not be like this one. They'll be able to identify targets months in advance and line things up. So I just think, this window has been a bit disappointing if we don't get certain players through the club, but I just think you kind of have to understand why it hasn't happened and give them time to kind of put things right.
On Twitter, saying Liverpool want to sign Alan Varela, put a value him at €90 million, and Boca Juniors have a 20% sell-on clause.
I think he's got a release clause, no?
Yeah, but guess what? Even these things may well work in our favour. There's 2 bits to this, right? So I'm going to say the one part, and then Artie remind me about Varela, all right? So this first one about us being patient in terms of making sure we get the correct fit for the number 6 or that central midfield or whatever role he may well be. Do you remember? I think it was last year we were in for what was that South American midfield? I think he's going to Wolves. Andre from Fluminense. Yeah. So we were looking at him. We were thinking, right, he's the correct player. For whatever reason, he wanted to remain playing in the Copa Libertadores, stay with Fluminense and stuff like that. So he's now being linked to Wolves. For me now, it's going to be good to see how he settles in the Premiership. So I'm going to be looking at him to see whether he could possibly have done a job for us, right? Because Wolves was meant to be in for a bid for him. And we'll see. That didn't bear fruit. Going back to the Varela, Mascherano's the Argentinian manager for the under-23s, isn't he? I think I'm correct. Mascherano is the manager for the Argentinian under-23s. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he puts a little good word in, whether we are going to be capable of getting Varela as well. What is he? 20? Well, he must be about
21, 22 maybe?
23 to the season, if he's in the stock. 21, 23. So when did they get him? They bought him last year, wasn't it? For about 8 mil? I think Porto bought him for about 8 mil last year. Well, we know that Porto
captain as well.
There you go. And we know what when Porto sell, they're going for the upgrade. So they're going to be going for the correct amount of money as well. Once again, we'll just watch his space. It's all
I think Varela is better than Zubimendi personally. No, actually no. I think Varela is a better fit for what we need than Zubimendi. Zubimendi is probably slightly better on the ball than Varela, but Varela is still good on the ball. But I just think if I'm building a team and I'm saying, okay, cool, who are going to be my starters? If I'm saying that I think Mac 10 is going to be a starter, I just think Zubimendi and Mac 10 lacks a bit too much athleticism for me. Whereas like Varela's got a bit more of a physical profile. He's quicker. He's better defensively. Like he's a bit more dynamic in his defensive work. So yeah, I think at the time I just felt I do rate Zubimendi, but I just think look, we can see in the Premier League, man. It's all well and good having ballers, and ballers are important, but you need man who've got a bit of. Gosh, I was going to say like a massive pause there, but I just feel you need people who've just got a bit of stature. There you go, a bit of stature.
But you know what? It's like I agree with Liverpool supporters, with some Liverpool supporters, and we're all of us about getting this number 6 in it. But ain't we also missing a trick in regards to? Hold on, we've got a new head coach.
Yeah.
Who has a he's got a history of not only playing really good, exciting, good to look on the eye, effective football, but he's also good at developing players as well. Now, I'm sure he's gone in there and he's had time to have a look and assess the squad. Now, if we don't get a number 6 this transfer window, then I'm kind of thinking, well, we should be getting a number 6 by January. But by January, we should know where we're at in regards to the players that we've got, who we can slot coach these players into players that he would like them to be, because these players are not old hat and they're coming towards the end of their career. They're young players who growing up through the academies, they've been coached to be adaptable and adjust and be malleable in positions. Like a number 6 should be able to play a number 8. A number 8 should be able to play a number 10. A number 10 should be able to play a number 6 or a number 8. And I think I think a lot of Liverpool supporters are probably missing the trick and probably doing Slot a disservice and thinking, well, hold on. Like, is our team that bad that we're shouting out for new signings? We've got a fantastic squad as it is. We just need it. And I think what he's doing, he's being very meticulous and choosing quality over quantity. And with the Chiesa signing, that's quality. But with number 6,
Varela has a release clause apparently of 65 million euros.
Oh, well, that's fine, because we ain't really spent no money, so we'll be fine with that.
That's his release clause. CW goes on to say that Will Chiesa become one of our most successful Italian signings at the club. Balotelli played hide and seek with himself. Marini couldn't put on a magnet on the target, and Aquilani, I didn't know he existed. And then there's Dosena.
Do you know what? It's weird, right? Because I know people have said this before about like foreign players or Italians not doing well in the league, stuff like that. I don't know, innit? Maybe I'm just a bit simple in my outlook. I just think if you sign good players, then they perform. If you sign players who are washed, past their best, injured, or not on levels, then they're not going to perform. So someone like a Dosena, he did what he was meant to do because he wasn't very good. And I think it's as simple as that. I just think if people can evidence quality ballers who have flopped, I would say fair enough in it. But I just think most players don't do well because they're just not good enough.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Aquilani came to us injured. Anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
Balotelli had more baggage than a BA 747. You know, Dosena was just coming in. He was never coming in as a starter.
He was just a basic baller. But it's like Zola had no problems adapting because he was a quality player.
And Barini didn't do too bad when he left us. He done all right at AC Milan. So
yeah,
Barini was washed as well.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
This is it. Really,
Van Dijk had ACL, and he's been back to his best.
True, that's true. That's true.
Redbird goes and say it's so good to see a player who's not money motivated like Caicedo.
Did you just see Chiesa's face when he was speaking about a new journey and a new experience, and you can see in his face like he's just like he just wants to get going. You know, so hopefully he can transfer that enthusiasm and energy.
I think it's a great signing.
I think it's a great signing.
Brilliant signing. Especially with things like, you know, sometimes when we're kind of going a bit longer in our from if it's from Alisson or if it's one of the fullbacks or even Van Dijk, and like we're not playing really looking to go over the top, more like play long balls into the forwards' feet and that, or for them to hold it up. Like Yates is particularly good at that. So like his back's having to hold off, say a fullback would be particularly good. So in other ways, sometimes we hold it, give it spin, and then we're gone at that. Stuff like that, I think he's going to be very good at. Question on the Chiesa one, I'm just going to be a bit controversial, right? Let's say we're starting Diaz, Jota, and Mo Salah. Do we all agree it's unlikely Slot's going to name 3 forwards on the bench? Because how many bench places like do you get? Is it 8? Is it 8? 8 you get?
9.
Yeah.
9. Okay. So your goalkeeper, a couple of defenders, a couple of midfielders. Cool.
Yeah.
Do we see a situation where all 3 are going to be on the bench, or is it likely to be 2? And I guess assuming that is going to be 2, just for me, purpose of me being controversial, who don't make the bench, bro?
I don't even think it's controversial. I think there's no rush for Kaiser to actually play and settle in. I think it's the same thing with we mentioned last week about how we see Darwin Núñez settling in, and I mentioned how much games he's played in the Copa America. There's no rush for him. There's no rush for Cody Gakpo either. We've got a long season. We're involved in 4 competitions, and I think everybody's gonna have the opportunity. Nobody's gonna get ruffled, and it just means that one of the things that we've mentioned on the show is we want depth, but we want depth with quality, and we've got that. So I don't think it's going to be an issue at all, Dr. Blake, one bit.
Boy,
talking about that as well, like you say, we're in 4 competitions. So the draw for the Carabao, it's a tricky first round tie for us. West Ham. It's not a given. And then have you seen what's going on now with this Champions League?
Yeah. Just mad.
Well, I've got to be honest, I've got a question mark. How the hell has Celtic manifested, got that draw. Have you seen Celtic's draw?
Yeah.
No, I haven't looked at. So I was only looking at ours. To be fair,
I said, no, I seen ours, and my mouth was still open. And then I looked over at Celtics, and I'm thinking they've had an absolute touch. Like they've got a decent what do you call it, group. Us on the other end.
it's like the group of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is, I think, the only thing with ours though, ours is hard. It blatantly is. But at the same time, I think, listen, man, and what are you saying to teams? You see, when you want to win Champions League, you got to play the best.
Yeah.
And if you fall short, it means that you weren't good enough. All this we got through because we got easy draw, and then you play no. It's either you're good enough to play Europe's best and win, or you're not. And I think I'm particularly excited to see how Slot performs in Europe with a better squad than what he's had previously. So I say bring it on. And if we're good enough, we will step up. And if we're not, then we go back to the drawing board. A man have to get signed. Simple as.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spend some money.
Yeah.
So Teach reckons 24 hours, and we like to do Klarna Pay, so we get told to do one. He reckons it's a bit too late to sign Varela.
No. Watch this. We don't know. Thank you. We do not know what discussions are happening behind closed doors. And me personally, Teach, this is where I'm at. I prefer when clubs are stealth in the negotiations. I don't want no situation where you got a situation that, and I'll say it, at Man United, where you got a player like Sancho, where you're trying to sign him for 12 years, and everybody knows the size of his granny's shoes, you know what style handbag she's wearing. That's how much business is out of road. Just keep quiet, like what we did with Kaiser. It was there, we were signed him. So if you are going to sign somebody before the transfer window, just let it be quiet. And if it's not, it's not. I don't mind. It's more exciting when it's like that as well.
Fitzwarren Brighton said we should have bought Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth.
Good player now, Lloyd Kelly. He's a good player still. Good player.
Is it? But is he on the level of Liverpool though?
Squad man for that kind of
We're not looking for a squad at the moment. We're releasing squad players.
Yeah, I get you. So,
we're releasing squad players. If Kelly was to come to us, be honest, would he be starting? No.
Nah.
Well, I think that's the point. If this is 3 seasons ago and Robbo is still in his pomp, then I think Lloyd Kelly is back up to do something a bit different. I think it's fine. But I think right now we can all see that there's a natural gap for a starter. So I agree with you, Stone. He's still a 4 year.
And hasn't Lloyd, if anything though, I know you were saying about so who was it that just
James Pearce
who you mentioned about Lloyd Kelly?
Has just tweeted that
Lloyd Kelly, I think it was Fitzwarren.
Oh, Fitzwarren, that's it. Hasn't he gone to Newcastle though?
Who, Lloyd Kelly?
Lloyd Kelly's gone to Newcastle, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He has. I'm right in saying that, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah, I think he went on the free, didn't he?
Yeah, to Newcastle. But I don't. He's not. Yeah, not a Liverpool. Yeah, definitely not. Because then the way that I see it, then he's probably 1 year younger than Gomez, and I think Gomez is way more versatile than Lloyd Kelly. That would just be my argument against signing Lloyd Kelly for that when we've already got somebody already in the club.
Sorry, can I ask a question, right?
They're saying even if you're not in the top 8, you have a chance in the playoff in the Champions League.
It's crazy.
Someone said, they say, Chris Welsh said, Leipzig, Dortmund, Atalanta, Aston Villa are all beating Celtic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I heard that. It's just the draw that surprised me. But I weren't Real Madrid in
Preds.
You got low Preds. You got low Preds.
You move from digital to analog at the moment.
Yeah. Charge your batteries, man.
It's all right, you carry on. You carry on.
Plug the charger in.
Headpiece gone.
Where's the earpiece gone? Oh, whoops.
frightened them away.
Technical itch.
Do you know as well? You see about that Varela thing? I'm gonna be so petty. Listen how petty I'm gonna be, right?
Go on.
This is the most petty thing I'm gonna say. I still don't know whether I want him to say he got the same agent as Timo Werner, you know.
Oh,
And that just makes you feel so uncomfortable.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
It makes me feel so. It's so petty what I'm thinking, man. I'm
No,
sorry.
it is don't. See me and you, like, I'm a bit like that as well, right? But you see, if Timo Werner was levels, then I'd have been like, yeah, man, like I'd been vexing it. But that deal falling through was a master stroke for us because he is washed, absolutely washed. Yes, there's an argument that maybe he would have had a different career on the Klopp, but all I can judge him on is what I've seen you do in the Premier League.
I think you'd have had a different career if you went into athletics.
I lie, hello?
I'm telling you. I think that would have been his best bet, mate.
He's appalling.
Yeah, seriously.
Appalling.
Did you guys notice one other thing that's happened recently as well, right? It's mad. Artie, on your top that you're wearing at the moment, the Liverpool crest, right?
Yeah.
Badge, yeah.
Have you noticed that we've changed it this year? We've gone back to the old school one.
The old school one.
Yeah, that's like I didn't realize that it was completely random.
Yeah.
Did we do that last year as well?
I think it was being mooted as that he was going to do it last year.
Right.
I think it was suggested. But what do you guys prefer?
I prefer the old one. I prefer the one that we're currently using now, so the old style one. That's the one that I really, really, really like. Yeah.
Do you think this new Champions League format is a precursor to the Super League?
Yes. Way more games. I think, way more games. And I think that's what they really wanted anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Way more games, way more coverage. Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'm a bit confused though. I'm a bit confused because I was listening to the breakdown of this new Champions League format, and I thought because Liverpool was also in the same pot as Real Madrid, so I thought on the explanation that was given to me today that Liverpool wouldn't be able to play Real Madrid because we came from the same pot.
That's what I thought.
And that the English teams couldn't also play British teams couldn't play each other within this particular setup because of how it's all devised and X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I'm a bit confused at how we've got Real Madrid. But I thought Real Madrid was in pot one, which pot one we couldn't. Apparently, the breakdown was we couldn't play Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, or something like that. I'm a bit confused. I'm going to have to read that up.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, I don't understand it. All I know is that we're playing Leverkusen in our first game. That's all I know. I don't know anything after that.
Tough games still. Tough games. So what's it? So you now play 2 more games, is it? Rather than it's 8 games rather than 6, right?
Yeah.
And then what is it then? Last 16, I'm assuming.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's a big league, and then basically the top 8 they go straight into the knockout phase, and then the remaining, I can't remember how many teams there are. I think it's the remaining 16 teams.
How many leagues? So
one league. It's one league. So it's one league.
Yeah.
But then the top 8 of that league.
Of course, yes, you're all in the same league, basically.
Yeah, it's all in the same league. And it's not like home. It's not like home and away. It's like you're going to be playing like we're playing Real Madrid at home, and then after the games are done, the top 8 of the league they automatically qualify for the next round, and the remaining teams in the playoff positions, and I think there's 16 playoff positions. They then play a 2-legged affair to then be able to go into the knockout proper.
Okay, so last 16 basically.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, so last 16 are like with like a potential.
Yeah. So it goes. So it goes straight to straight to the last 16. So the top 8 all automatically go to the top 8 in to the knockout phase.
I reckon we need to bin off one of the cups, man. And I know it's like I know winning trophies are great and it's always good to get something under the bag, but I think you aim. I think when you try and aim for 4, you harm your chances of winning 1 or 2 in it. I think sometimes you just got to just say let's just target 1, 2, 3 as a maximum. And when you check it, when we were winning, okay, like I know our squad was smaller. Obviously, we had more like a better first 11. But when we were winning the league and Champions League, we weren't even going for the cups.
Very true.
And
This
I think
is part of the reason why I wouldn't have minded some of them other young players to just throw them into the Carabao Cup and let them play. While the other guys rest. You know what I mean? Let them guys play, man. Let them get some game time, some experience. Never know, you might discover some gems in there and say, boy, you know what? This player can probably do it.
But there's even that stipulation for the League Cup, though, that you've got to play a certain amount of first team players from the game on the weekend. So you can't you can't even do that no more, where you can do rotate a whole 11.
No, I don't think you can do the whole 11, but
no.
At least, do you know what? You can. I'm sure that you if you start some of them and then you sub some of them off,
Right?
Because they did play in the game. You know what I mean? Give them 45 minutes and then say, yeah, just give them a rest and let the youngsters play, man.
Yeah, but we've got enough. Yeah.
We could have concentrated FA Cup, League, Champions League. This Champions League is going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Tough, man. I think that's a tournament, man. Like, missed that last season, man. It was hard to watch that, man. It was hard to watch it. I think the only thing that made it palpable to watch it was seeing Man U finish bottom of their group. Mate, seeing them slappings was just joke.
Wednesday night, man. Wednesday night footy.
You know, man. Like, there's nothing better than that music, man.
Yeah,
there's nothing better than it. I tell you.
There's nothing better than Liverpool being in that tournament. It has to be in that competition.
Magical nights at Anfield.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man.
They're back. Okay.
I think that's another show, isn't it? Reminisce on our best Anfield Champions League nights.
Oh, that'll be about a 4-hour show, bro. We'll have a lot to talk about, I tell you. Yeah. Okay, before we go on, Sean says that Forest made 7 or 8 changes. Okay. So yeah.
You see that penalty from what's his name? The striker that we had, who's now at Forest, the Nigerian brother.
What, the one that hasn't landed yet?
Flipping hell.
I said he hasn't landed yet, you know.
Nah, bro, that was the original big toe pump, bro. I don't know what that was, bro. That just went
Owoni.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what? You're giving him too much credit of a toe punt. That was a proper side foot. Like, yeah, the thing is, things went over the terrace roof, and it's still going.
Terrible.
Wow.
Okay, peoples. Well, Man United this weekend, gentlemen. Let's have some predictions before we go. How are we going to do against the Manx? At Old Trafford, by the way, as well. And you know they like to raise their game for us.
I know.
They've got a few decent signings in as well. De Ligt, Ugar in midfield. Xerxes up front. How are we looking then, gentlemen? How are we looking?
2-0.
2-0 to us, yeah? Okay.
I just think, well, what we've always done with United, well, not always, but what we tend to do sometimes is we play the occasion rather than the team that's in front of us. And we get caught up. It becomes end-to-end. We lose control. It becomes like a basketball game. It just becomes unpredictable. I won't mention Darwin Núñez losing the ball in the FA Cup in the last minutes. That then, I'm not going to mention that. But I just think we're going to be a lot more controlled. I think, don't get me wrong, they might be able to press us and win the ball back and create chances doing that. But I just think we're going to just to show like a lot of control in the game. And if we are struggling to play through them, then I just think in terms of their defensive options and our ability to be direct at times as well, and with Trent's passing, I think we'll either play through them or we'll go over the top and we'll just create chances. But I just think we're going to have an element of control.
Okay. So, there's B says he reckons we're winning 2-0. Demas reckons it's going to be 2-1 to Man United. Okay. London Vets Baller says on Sunday at 6:30, Mr. B will be vexed. I hope so. I do hope so. Fitzwarren is saying 3-0 to NFC.
Wow.
CW says 1-1. It's always a draw. Okay. So Preds, Stoney.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw as well. For some unknown reason, I can't say the last time we managed to get a victory at Old Trafford. But our boys will be going up to that dusty place, dust-infected vermin place. So that's probably what it is. But I reckon,
holes in the roof.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's happening. Jipping. Place this. Yeah, anyway, we're live on here, so I have to be mindful of what I say. I think it's going to be a draw. I want us to win 2-0, but I think it's going to be a draw, 1-1.
Okay, and Preds.
I'm going to go that we're going to win 3-1. I think to be fair, with all the signings that Man United have signed, which is they've done okay with their signings. I feel that this might be a decent sign to play them because they're all kind of integrating. They're trying to integrate into the Premiership and into the Man United team. And I think with Liverpool, there's not been too many movements in regards to personnel. We're a settled squad. And I think this is probably a decent time to play.
Okay.
Touch wood.
I must say, gentlemen, thank you very much. It has been an absolute blast. Another show. It's been great. Fun once again. Look forward to next week when we come back celebrating our victory next week. And I will be looking to see if I can get hold of Mr. B on the show. See if he can come and back up his talk. Yeah. Like I was giving us talk before we was on air. I can't believe that, I saw these 2 comments in the. I'm like, why is there 2 comments in there? It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
Oh,
Mr. B.
A new phone's coming out and everyone's queuing outside the building for overnight. That's what it's like.
It's all right, man. I hope he's queuing after the match, though. Yeah, trust me. I hope so.
It'll be entertaining.
Dr. Blake, thank you very much, sir.
Great. We're gonna turn up on Sunday, and yeah, man.
Definitely. Preds, bro. He was on time, but he was eating rice and peas.
Stoney, I got caught as soon as I put the spoon in my mouth, and then Lee was like, "Hey, and welcome to." I'm like, "Oh, whatever." Gee, blood and hellfire.
Still didn't stop it, but yeah. Anyway,
why stop?
Brother Sturdy, it's been a pleasure, my bro.
Yeah. Thanks for another show. I think it's been amazing as well. Really good content. Thanks for everybody that's tuned into the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And we look forward to you guys joining us again next week, Thursday at 10 p.m.
Lovely, jubbly. Peace out, my peoples.